Hello and welcome back for part 2 of the Tez Talks Q&A. So I'm going to start with Stacey Harp's question. You have said you grew up a strict Catholic. What made you transition into being more spiritual? How does spirituality differ to Christianity and Catholicism? I don't think that there's a way to define spirituality. But it is, in my opinion, my definition of it is very different from Christianity or Catholicism. I grew up a strict Catholic. Strict in the sense that I wasn't taught about any other religion. I just was like, this is the way, this is what happened. God created the earth. It was Adam and Eve. There was a dreadful sin. Jesus was born on December 25th. This is the way it is. Like, this is how you are here. You are one of God's children. And I went to a Catholic school for 13 years. But it wasn't really my school that taught me about Catholicism. It was my mum. She is so passionate about being a Catholic and loves her religion so much. It's such a huge part of who she is, and it's really served her in that way. And so I was a really religious little girl. Like, I remember my brothers telling me that I would cry when they would say, Jesus isn't real. I would bawl my eyes out. I would be like, you're wrong, you're going to hell. I grew up as a child who I didn't understand why a man would want to be with a man and not a woman. I didn't understand why a woman would be holding another woman's hand. As I got older, I started to get into the concept of that and get into the idea behind that. And I was like, gosh, it felt really judgmental to me. And I got older and older and I was like, no, but the God that I know is loving and accepting and loves everyone, and we're all God's children. But then it feels hypocritical that we place such judgment on people who choose to be homosexual, and we place judgment on various other things. And I'm like, aren't we all one? Aren't we all connected? And I started to find for myself some really intense parts of Catholicism that led me to believe that some of the practices are fear-based. And I made the choice for myself. It's not my mum's choice. My mum's really excited about Catholicism. She likes to have a very regimented life. She wants to have boundaries and structure, and she wants to be told what she's allowed to do and what she's not allowed to do. And she's always been that way. And she thinks it's a sin to lie. It's a sin to not go to church on a Sunday. It's a sin to have sex before marriage. It's a sin. All these things are sins. So I remember growing up feeling like I was never allowed to explore my sexuality. I felt ashamed if I ever felt sexual about my body. They were evil, that I was told they were evil thoughts. And I remember I started to have nightmares about the wrath of God as a kid. And the older I got, the more I was like, there must be some other way. Is this truly the way it is? And here's the thing, my dad is an atheist and my mum is very Catholic. So I'd be at my dad's house and they're like, we don't believe in God. Then I'm at my mum's house and she's like, God is everything. So I was this swinging pendulum between these two households. And then finally I kind of landed somewhere in between. But I do believe in God. I believe in my definition of God. I believe in the earth. I believe in energy. And I believe in the power of the laws of attraction. I believe in doing good. I believe in the universe. But here's in my experience, in Catholicism, you must only follow Catholicism. All other religions are wrong. And I started to realize that, but if I was born in another country, I would be Hindu, or if I was born here, I would be a Buddhist, or if I was born here, it'd be this religion. And I realized that, it has to come from me, and it shouldn't have any, I didn't want to be swayed in any way because of where I was born and the family I was born into. I was like, I want to do my own research. I want to like find out what fits well for me. And I had religion pushed at me my whole life. And then finally I got to the point where I was like, whoa, I actually don't agree with this. Like, I love people who are homosexual. Like, I really love that. And I don't believe that this person's going to hell because they've had sex before marriage. I don't have the same beliefs. And then as my belief system started to change, my whole life kind of opened up, and I started like seeing the world in a different light, and was like, wow, I didn't even know about Buddhism and the idea that we need to be gentle and loving and not hurt any sentient beings. I'm like, that sounds really cool. I really love that. Oh, Hinduism? This is what you guys believe in? That's really cool too. So then what I started doing is just having a basic philosophy that I live by, as opposed to a regimented religion based on fear or judgment. So I was like, oh, I'm going to be a good person, and I'm going to be really loving. And guess what? Jesus did that too. And all of the teachings in the Bible, I think, are really beautiful. So I will read the Bible and I'll get a passage and I'll be like, oh, I really love that. I love how Jesus led with love and compassion. And that's how I feel. And then I'll read something from the Tao, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that resonates so much. I love that. Or there's some element of Buddhism, especially just being gentle to every being and accepting and loving, that I really connect with. So in my home, I have, right here, I have a statue of Mary, and then underneath I have a little Buddha statue. And then over here I have like crystals, and I have like a picture of Jesus. And so that's, I guess, my definition of spirituality, is like taking from all these beautiful belief systems. And the further I looked into it, the more I was like, wow, they're actually really, really similar. Like the fundamental basis of these religions actually are pretty much in line. And so that's kind of what I lean into. I don't know what the answers are. I actually don't care, because I don't need to know the answers. And that's the beauty in life. We just don't know. Let's just be the best people we can possibly be. And as long as I am being good, a good person, and being loving and conscious and mindful, that's what's important to me. And also allowing people to have their own beliefs. Like my mum, every time she's here, we make sure we have all the Jesus pictures out. We make sure she gets to church on a Sunday, because that is so important to her, and that's her livelihood. And so that's also important too, is not being judgmental of anyone else's beliefs. So that's really my own journey with it. And there we go. So thanks for the question. It's an awesome question. Okay. Have you experienced any difficulties breastfeeding while vegan? Well, I'm not vegan. So I've been many things. I've been vegan. I've been raw. I've been vegetarian. I'm predominantly a vegan. But sometimes I actually had this really crazy health scare last year. And I had to have surgery, and it was a whole thing, and I'm going to talk about it in about a month's time. And there was a lack of animal protein. This was caused by a lack of animal protein. And I was like, what? And here's the thing. I realized I am too much of a lazy vegan or a lazy vegetarian to get the amount of protein that my body needs. I'm not like steaming the kale, and I wasn't preparing my meals, and I wasn't doing the quinoa and the lentils, and I wasn't doing that. I was like running around, grabbing stuff on the go. I ended up filling up my plate with carbs and grabbing all this stuff and not even complex carbs, like really basic carbs, which don't break down very well in the system. And so I was sort of a crappy vegetarian. I was like cutting corners. So then I ended up incorporating fish, and my levels improved, so that was great. However, now I'm in a zone where I'm really not feeling fish, and I've been vegetarian for, the last 4 months. So anyway, breastfeeding, I have so many vegan friends who have breastfed and breastfed so well. If you are a vegan, you do need to commit to ensuring you are getting enough vitamins and minerals and protein, especially protein. And you can get that in the form of like big tablespoons of almond butter and, getting your healthy fats and quinoa. There's so much protein in quinoa. Broccoli, there's protein in broccoli. But it is about like committing your time to doing some research to make sure that you are incorporating what your body really needs. And I would like to carve out some more time so that I can, really prepare myself better in the future, because right now I'm really not feeling like I want to eat any fish. I haven't eaten meat, other types of meat, for many years. I just have no interest, and I also, for animal reasons, I didn't want to be consuming suffering. And that's why with the fish, it's been really hard, because I feel guilty. I feel really guilty when I eat fish. It feels like suffering. That's my own relationship with it. I knew that I had to consume fish for health reasons. But now I'm feeling like, I don't really want that to be a part of my life right now. And so that means just having that commitment, making sure I am getting enough of the vitamins and the protein that I need. But yeah, breastfeeding, I'm still breastfeeding. I'm like, he's 2 years, 3 months, and I'm still breastfeeding. I got a lot of milk in these boobies. And, some women have a great supply, some women don't. It's about whatever you're eating, making sure you're trying to eat as clean as possible. And then, the constant stimulation at the breast is what produces the more milk. So I always was a woman who has breastfed my son on demand, and that means that we've constantly had a flow of milk, and that's been great. And he's really super healthy, touch wood. Never had anything wrong with him, and it remains one of my favorite relationships with him, is our breastfeeding relationship. And I can feel it coming to an end, and it's bittersweet, but I'm really grateful that I have been able to breastfeed for as long. Wow, there was only 2 questions I got in there. Okay, on to the next one. Bye.